Hello students! Today we're going to learn how to use emphatic adverbs or adverbs of frequency. Now, adverbs of frequency are words that indicate the frequency with which an action occurs. In other words, it shows how many times we perform an action and with how many repetitions we do it. Okay, now some words that are adverbs of frequency are always, often, usually, sometimes, seldom, and never. Now they all represent different amounts of frequency with they are performed. So always is performed 100% of the times. So every single time we do this action. Often is performed 75% of the time. So we only perform this action about 75% of the time. Usually is performed 65% of the time, around, right? So we only perform it with this much frequency. Sometimes is performed with 50% of the time. Seldom with 25% of the time. And never is with 0% of the time. So we never do this action. We don't perform this at all. Okay, and some of these verbs show a positive idea or a negative idea. Now, always, often, usually, and sometimes, all these express a positive idea. Positive idea. There you go. Whereas seldom and never express a negative idea. So expressions that the frequency is less than 50% are normally negative, and expressions that are performed 50% or more are normally positive. Okay, now let me give you some examples. Before I give you some examples, let me explain how to use the word ever with adverbs of frequency. Now, ever expresses ignorance about the frequency with which an action occurs in questions. So expresses ignorance. So we do not know about the frequency of the action when using ever. It is also a synonym of never. A synonym of never in a negative sentence. Okay. So the first way that we ask questions with adverbs of frequency is like this. Do you ever drink coffee with milk? As you can see, we use the word ever here to ask a question with adverbs of frequency. Because ever describes that we do not know how often or how many times we do the action. To answer this question, we could say, yes, sometimes, or no, never. Another way to ask a question is with often. We can say, how often does he come to his English class? Sometimes, or never. Here we use often to ask how many times that person comes. Okay. With frequency words, we put them either before an action verb or after the verb to be, and after the verb to be. So some examples are the following. I never come late. Never is the frequency word, right? This is the frequency word. And it comes before the verb. Yeah? They are often busy. They are often busy. Often is the frequency word. And it comes after the verb to be and before the verb. She always studies hard. She always studies hard. Always is the frequency word, and studies is the verb. And in the last one, which one is the frequency word and which one is the verb? We seldom miss class. Yeah, so seldom is the frequency word and miss is the verb. Very good. Thank you for listening.